there. You're listening to the Oklahoma On Stage podcast. Here we sit down with the folks that make the magic happen on and off stage in the Oklahoma theater scene. We're glad you joined us. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And our website is oklahomaonstage.org. If you have any comments or questions, you can send them to us at oklahomaonstage@gmail.com. If you like the podcast, please leave us a rating and review and share with those you know. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? Grab a snack and a drink and take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Oklahoma on stage, the stories come alive. With drama, dance, and music, the arts always thrive. From center stage to backstage lore, Oklahoma on stage, there's always something more.
Hello, and welcome to Oklahoma On Stage, the podcast all about the ins and outs of Oklahoma theater. My name's Tim, and as always, I'm your host as we travel through this wonderfully crazy road. Today, we're diving into the wild and wonderful world of Fringe with two of the most innovative minds in Oklahoma theater. Jenny and Adam Brand are the two co-founders and executive directors of Theatre Crude, a platform that's been shaking up the local art scene with bold storytelling, boundary-pushing performances, and a whole lot of heart. From their year-round Unconventional shorts to the upcoming Theatre Crude Fringe Festival, they've built a space where artists can take risks, audiences can be surprised, and the unexpected is always welcome. We're going to explore how Theatre Crude got started, what fuels their vision, and what's ahead for this year's Fringe Festival. And we'll see what else we can dig up along the way. Oklahoma On Stage family, please join me in welcoming Jenny and Adam Brand to the podcast. Welcome, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Y'all ready to have some fun?
Yeah, you gave us a lot of credit in that intro. Innovative minds.
Ooh.
Yeah, no,
How do I feel about that?
we're not the creators. We open the door. Other people do creative things.
That's kind of what I do. I just put a mic in people's faces and I let them talk. So we're going to try that again today for you guys. So let's start out. I tell people a lot of times, we're going to start out with the elephant in the room. We're going to rewind just a little bit and ask the question, how did you get started in theater?
Get started in theater. I think I have a traditional kind of story, I think I was in middle school when I realized that I wasn't athletic enough to play sports, so I needed something else to do. So I did the school plays, and I did a lot of acting. It's a fun, silly time. You get to hang out with your friends and just be a dork. Who doesn't love that? And then, through college, I started working in the scene shop at my college, got into carpentry, scenic building, and that's kind of where my career took off on the technical side, just kind of left the limelight behind.
Was there a moment that happened that just clicked that you said, this is what I want to do?
I don't know. I think it's just the whole vibe of theater. Like when you're putting a show together, the community that kind of builds up around it, like everybody's shared passion for that project, it's really intoxicating and it's hard to let go of.
Cool. Jenny, what about you?
Oh, music was my first love. I've been playing piano since I was 5, and my whole family is pretty musical. And so music came first. And then, of course, the way that most of us get into theater, I feel like in this country, is musicals came second. And that's the in for a lot of drama kids. And that was the in for me, was middle school musicals. And so theater became part of it and dance became part of it. So performing arts in general. And then in high school, I had the opportunity as a junior to become part of the creative team as opposed to being on stage. So I was asked to be the choreographer for Oklahoma as a junior. And I said yes. And at the end of the rehearsal process, the person that they had stage managing wasn't really working out. And so they said, Jenny, you know this show, and what are you going to be doing during performances? Nothing. Why don't you call the show? And I said, okay. And so then for the rest of high school, I was choreographer and stage manager. And then I ended up doing my bachelor's degree in stage management. And during that time, I learned that while I do love stage management, I also like having a broader picture than the intense focused in that a stage manager is on a project. And so pretty soon after graduating, I started doing a variety of producing jobs. But my whole career as a general has been as, I call myself a freelance arts administrator. So it has not been a straight line. I've done most roles, both on and off stage, during my career. But I got started by doing musicals. To answer your original question.
Okay, so I know through research that you are from Minnesota.
Yeah, essentially.
Are you from Minnesota as well?
Well. Adam's technically, if we're going to get into
It depends on
I
how
feel like
specific you want to be. We're in Oklahoma right now, so I can say I'm from Minnesota, which is what I like to claim because that's where I branched out on my own. But I was born and raised in Wisconsin. So if anybody from Minnesota hears me say that I'm from Minnesota, they're probably pretty offended because technically I'm from Wisconsin. But
your parents might listen to this. You better say you're from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I loved my time in Wisconsin, but there's something special about branching out on your own and becoming an adult, and I did that in
We can just say your journey started in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then grew from there.
Yeah.
So your theater pretty much launched from Minneapolis, is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, are you from there as well?
Oh, I'm from many places.
I hear that a lot.
I started moving from the age of 1. So my family and I lived in the United States in various different places until I was 13. And then we moved to Holland, and I was in Holland for high school. And then I got my bachelor's degree and lived for several years in London. And then at the age of 25, my passport said I was American and visa options ran out. So I moved to America. Since then, I have lived in Minneapolis and Albuquerque and LA and upstate New York for a summer. And I'm sure I'm forgetting things, but also Oklahoma City. So that's where I'm from.
And here's the golden question.
Yeah.
What drew you to Oklahoma?
It's weird.
Great.
It's weird here, man. I love it. It's weird.
We moved here in 2016. We had been living in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and we were both looking to just shake things up. I've lived many places, and Adam has traveled extensively, but has only, up till Oklahoma City, really lived in the Minneapolis metro area. Even in Wisconsin, he was 30 minutes away from the metro area. So we wanted to move somewhere together. We did a massive road trip for a month across many cities here in America. And Oklahoma City ended up on the list because we have, Adam has friends that live here that we never got to see because they live in Oklahoma City. So we threw it on the list as okay, we'll go through there too. And when we came through, this is 2016, the summer of 2016, it really felt like a city that was trying to figure out what its identity wanted to be next. And that was really exciting to think about how we might be able to contribute towards, not one way or the other, but just like we could help a whole city figure out what it wants to be when it grows up. So yeah, we moved here. Mm-hmm. For fun.
I like that. I really do. I like that. That's not an answer that I think I've ever heard before. We wanted to help Oklahoma City grow up. Of course, you usually don't hear that in theater, but yeah. So okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of answered that section of questions. So now let's kind of lean a little bit. Where did Fringe come from?
Well, Fringe came from Edinburgh.
Yep. Oh, Edinburgh.
I was just listening to a podcast over the last couple of weeks, and while I was on vacation, a gentleman doing reviews of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and he had 5 episodes, and each day he was seeing like 30 shows, and I'm like, do you sleep?
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they're only hour shows, but 30 in a day? How do you do that? So,
Well, when you're reviewing Fringe, it's an impossible task because I think their final number of shows participating this year was 2,700. So it's a thing.
yeah.
So yeah, Fringe and sorry.
So that's where it started, was in Edinburgh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Edinburgh used to have, or still kind of does anyway, a festival that was sanctioned by the city. So it was Edinburgh International Festival. And it was very hard to get in. And a lot of artists felt slighted by not being able to participate because, because it was this official city thing. And then their art was deemed too weird, too on the edges. And they said, well, we're going to start our own festival. And it'll be on the fringe of the quote unquote real festival. And then, of course, the Fringe Festival took off like crazy and became the real festival in town, and is now the massiveness that it is. So it brings in over $1 billion, £1 billion in the single month of, or even 4 weeks of August. And as I said, nowadays it hovers around 3,000 different companies participating, in like 500 to 1,000 venues. Like, it's just insane numbers.
All over the city.
It's all over the city. You cannot escape it. But that's where it came from. That's where Fringe came from. And nowadays, most major cities have a Fringe.
So how did you get involved with Fringe?
My first experience was when I was living in Minneapolis. I worked as a technician at Minnesota Fringe. So I got to sit at a venue and see a whole bunch of weird stuff, and I got paid for that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we moved to Oklahoma City, and we were like, what can we do to participate? What can we do to encourage just something new and different and weird? Because this place is so weird, we need to get more people to understand. I keep saying the word weird, and I hope everybody understands that. I mean that the best way possible.
Those of us who are on the inside of that circle, we understand.
They understand how awesome weird is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't remember exactly what the aha moment was. In my memory, it's just one day Jenny said to me, "What if we did a Fringe Festival?" And I went, "That sounds right."
Oh, that's the aha moment. So when was that? When did your Theatre Crude Fringe start?
2019?
2019.
The idea came in 2018.
Yeah.
Took a while to get it moving.
Yeah, we had the idea in 2018, and we slowly inched our ways towards like, oh, this is going to actually happen. We, technically speaking, had our first board meeting in November of 2018, but we officially incorporated in January 2019. And then we had our first festival that fall.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You don't usually see something move that fast, sir. Trust me. So it started then. Now, Theatre Crude and the Fringe Festival, are they one and the same, or are they two separate things?
The Fringe Festival is one of the events that Theatre Crude puts on.
Okay.
So our Unconventional shorts are another set of activities that we do, which is our year-round programming, normally about once a month. We get together at mostly a bar, sometimes a bookstore, sometimes elsewhere, and just, I don't know, do random theater things. So that's Unconventional Shorts. And then occasionally we also do what we call office hours, which is Adam and I will go sit in a bar and everybody is welcome to come join us.
Just so just to hang out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Casual artist hang.
Because this is how we grow ideas. Get people together and they start talking to each other, and then suddenly you realize you have similar ideas or shared ideas, or you start bouncing an idea off another person, and it starts to grow into a real thing. And you start thinking, hey, you know what? We could probably do this. We could do this. Do you think we want to do this? We're going to do this thing. So that's
And
what
so
office hours is trying to
Suddenly
do.
Fringe Festival is born.
There you go.
Okay, so you kind of quoted this earlier, and I believe this is from your website, that Theatre Crude isn't just a festival, it's a philosophy. What does that mean?
It means that we like to encourage people to do the thing that they think is just too out there. The number of times you will talk to an artist and they will say, I've got this great idea for a show, but it's just not ready yet. It's not ready for people to see it yet. I need to refine it a little bit more. I don't have the money to build the set that I want. I don't have the stage rented for me to perform it. We wanted to be able to say, you don't need any of that. We'll get you a space. Don't worry about the scenery. That can come later. Just take that raw idea out of your head, plop it in front of an audience, and see what happens. So like, no barriers to entry here. Let's just get going. Let's get that idea moving. Let's get some momentum behind it and get it growing.
Yeah.
That's the philosophy of Theatre Crude.
Excellent. So you guys partner with local theaters to give them space to perform these. I know that last year you guys partnered with Oklahoma Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah.
Some great performances there on a very small stage. But that's great for like you said, the people that don't have, a stage to put it on. They don't really know what their blocking is or whatever until they get it on there. And so that's great. However, this year is a whole lot different. You've gone from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well,
Yeah, we're
giving it a go.
we're still chewing that one around, trying to figure out if we can.
Finish your thought. Otherwise, it'll seem like I'm finishing your thought for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're really excited about it. At least, I mean, I'm excited about the idea.
I don't really think that was his thought, but
You don't think so either? That's great.
Hey,
Well, the 3-venue thing is happening because last year we took a big step forward as a festival. Like, it was just momentum. We had 1.5 times the number of people that we normally have. And there was great artistic interest as well. This year, the artistic interest continued to grow. So we got 1/3 more applicants than we normally do, or I should say than we ever have gotten before. And it really became clear that this year should be the year for us to take the leap into multi-venue, which is a characteristic that is common amongst many, not all, but many Fringe festivals, is that it is it attempts to grow, to take over the whole town. And the multi-venue is a step to do that. So yeah, this year we're in 3 different venues. Only one is an approximation of a traditional theater space. Third act is produces their own work. They are in the shops at North Park, so they're there is a stage. There is theatrical lighting.
and they have new chairs.
They
have new
constructed a
chairs.
proscenium stage
Yes.
inside of a bar,
Yes.
which
That kind of
The
fits
vibes
the
with
whole
it.
Fringe thing.
The other 2 venues, Theatre Crude is transforming them into spaces that are theatrical spaces. So the Daily, in its daily life, is a co-working space, and before that, it was a bank. And so essentially, we're in the lobby of a bank, and that's gonna be fun. And then the 4801 is a makerspace event space, but in its previous life, it was a house. So we're essentially in the living room of a house, which is also just like utterly fascinating to Adam and I, who really love the reality that theater can happen anywhere, and being able to fit an audience of 10 to 20 in a living room to experience art that's happening like not feet away from you, but inches away from you, should be just an incredible experience for both artists and audience. So, multi-venue.
So how big is that living room?
Oh, like a living room.
Living room size.
Wow. Okay. So how many do you think you're going to seat in there?
At the moment, max 20. When we move in late September, we'll be able to see for certain whether I can bump that number up any. But at the moment, max 20.
You're going to find places to like hang them on the wall. And...
Standing room only.
Hey, yeah.
That's
Particularly?
good.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about this a minute ago. How did the unconventional shorts come about?
Sure.
That was through conversations with friends of ours, Emily and David.
Yeah.
Now they're the movers and shakers of OKC Rep.
Yeah.
You may have heard of them.
You may have heard of them.
Do my hair flip? Yeah, we know people. They're pretty cool.
Freaky all spice.
But we were trying to figure out ways to get people involved more year round, since the Fringe Festival is kind of like, as much as we want it to be a low stakes, no barriers kind of thing, you still do need to create a full production that's at least like 40 minutes in runtime, up to an hour. You have to like gather actors. So there's still a bit of work involved in getting involved in the Fringe Festival. So it's like, how can we bring it down even lower, get people even more excited about just doing something with no stakes, short time frame. So our first unconventional shorts was just a 10-minute play reading. There were 5 10-minute plays, and it was, I can't remember, it was probably by invite only at that point in time, where we just reached out to playwrights that we knew and said, hey, do you want to write a 10-minute play? And then we'll find some actors, we'll do that.
You gave them a prompt, and they only had like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was, again, just like, don't overthink it. Just
and
show that it just do it.
Yeah, and that first time, it was the play was presented to the people who were going to read it probably the day before we actually performed it in front of an audience. So the playwrights had no time to do any kind of rewrites either. It's like, this is what you've written, and this is what people are going to see.
Yeah, and like, let's just hear it. Low stakes. Just get it up.
Yeah, and that one went pretty well.
Yeah.
It had a good turnout. People seemed to really enjoy it. So we thought, how can we do more of this? What other fun, weird games can we play that bring things along? And so we owe a lot to Emily, especially. She was sort of the ideas behind most of what we do at Unconventional Shorts now.
Well, I mean,
She got us Unconventional, the 10-minute play thing. I mean, that's kind of a traditional thing, but like, she was integral to the first time we did that. Exquisite Corpse, the monologue roulette that we do, those all came right out of Emily's head.
Out of the dome. Yeah, nowadays we do, well, this last year we did 5 different unconventional shorts. And they were great.
Oh, I thought you were going to go list them. I was like,
No, I've already mentioned 3 of them: the 10-minute plays, the monologue roulette, the Exquisite Corpse. 5/5. Yeah, that's a thing that we've still. A lot of Fringe festivals around the country do the 5/5 thing, so we kind of borrowed that from previous existing. And then we do live play D&D because that's fun for me. I enjoy being a DM, and if I can do it in front of an audience and get people to donate us money to just mess with people, that is great.
I think it's so cool that D&D has made a resurgence with the modern, Oklahoma theater scene. I played D&D back in the 80s when I was a kid, before y'all were born. But and it has definitely changed. I sat and watched around here not too long ago, and I was like, okay, that's nothing like what I did back then. I mean, it's still role play, so it's there's the basics are the same. But I don't.
No, 5th edition is a little different than the first or second.
Yeah, I was both first and second. So So talk about, you mentioned just a second ago about the 5/5. What is that?
That's where we take a popular movie, chop it up into 5 parts, give each part to a different group of performers, and ask them to interpret that fifth of the movie in any way they like, without the knowledge of what anybody else is doing. And then on the night of the event, we present it in film order for the first time and only time, really.
Yeah.
And it just turns into a crazy evening.
Yeah. It's great fun.
Yeah, the first year we did Twister.
Yeah.
It felt very appropriate.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's one where like we started out where the first group was just sort of doing this. They spoke the subtext of the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the beginning of an action movie is really just exposition saying, hey, this is what this action movie is going to be about. You know, stick around, guys. Some really cool stuff's going to happen. You're going to see explosions. You're going to see trucks flying through the air. But we got to get through like the reason why this is all happening. So that group, they just spoke the subtext, which was great. And then it just slowly evolved into weirder and weirder things where
More and more abstract.
more and more abstract.
Yeah.
That's right. Because then the part of the movie where the two sister tornadoes are like flipping around and the cow flies through the air, they just interpreted that as two luchadors who like were greased up and like started playing Twister.
Yeah.
So that
Sure.
was their
Yeah.
part of the movie. And then that
Yeah.
morphed into the musical,
Yes.
Twister the
Twister
musical,
musical.
where they sang about corn and beef. And,
Yeah. They had an amazing performer in like a
oh, yeah.
tornado bodysuit with
Mhm.
heels and just was like commanding the presence as a tornado should be. It's fantastic.
Which,
And then part 4
yeah,
was
just
Rob
super
Sturma.
calm, chill vibes with
It was,
Rob Sturma doing some poetry.
Yeah, poetry. He wrote a poem. And he is a slam poet and just like great performer. So it was just him talking into a mic, but like spot on.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Earth is a mother. You don't mess with her home.
Yeah. Oh, so good. And then the 5th part, the ending, Perpetual Motion Dance, which if you're not familiar with their work, you should be. They're great.
Yeah.
They do contemporary, modern, and aerial work, although where we were was
Yeah.
this piece they didn't use the
They
aerials.
didn't do aerial work, but they started us out just emotionally like punched to the chest right away. They played the tornado warning radio signals, so that just like high pitched.
And then this is emergency broadcast of
please
this,
see
and
chat.
the room just went dead silent, and everybody, you could feel the goosebumps just like crawling up people. And then they did it's hard to call it a dance, but it was like interpretive movement piece to this soundtrack, and it was incredible. And then that was Twister. 5 minutes of Twister.
Yeah. So the next time you're watching Twister and they get to the F5 at the end that they're like chasing down, and Carrie Elwes gets like the pole through his chest for no reason, and they're like strapped in, the tornado's zipping around, and Dorothy finally works. Yeah. Just imagine the actual radio signal going off and just a whole bunch of dancers picking each other up and spinning around and like lifting tables up into the air.
So cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was really good. So that's 5 minutes.
Okay.
So the second year we did Back to the Future, and then this year we did The Shining.
Yeah. We look forward to many
was
more fun interpretations of popular movies.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
And you do this once a year?
Once a year.
Okay. All right. So, looking back at your website, you said that you're not looking for the best of the best, but the most passionate of the passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Can you unpack that a little bit?
It's all right there on the page, really.
I don't know which one from us, Tim.
Yeah,
No.
we are a technically juried festival. A lot of fringe festivals like to go the lottery route because they don't want any sort of like bias placed on the art form. They just want to say, if you want to do something, throw your name in the hat. We'll see what comes out. Us being a smaller market, we wanted to have a little bit more control over the variety.
Right.
So we wanted to be sure that we were getting the broadest range of theater possible in our Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
So that's what we mean by when we're jurying things, we're not taking the applications and judging them on like, this is the most refined idea. This comes from the highest caliber of performers, and this is a writer with provenance or anything like
Right.
that.
No.
We're just saying, is this something that we can't see anywhere else? Do you appear to really care about this? Is this something you really want to do? And then if those things click, if it's weird, we haven't seen it before, it seems unusual and interesting, and you seem passionate about it, it's like, come on and play.
Yeah.
Come on and play.
I like that. Well, does it always have to be something that you've never seen before, or?
Well, it's all about variety. So it's not that more traditional work cannot be part of the festival. It's just a lot harder for it to become part of the festival because it is more mainstream. It is possible to find it elsewhere. And so we certainly do not exclude more traditional work. It's just when looking for the widest variety possible, that's unfortunately the category that sometimes gets less represented simply because we're looking for the most unconventional, the most untraditional. But one can certainly find recognizable as theater pieces.
Carpenter Square, Jewel Box, Third Act, they all do great work all year round. And so we don't need to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Now, what you're seeing at your festival, are these all original works, or?
For the most part, they tend to be original work. The odds of you recognizing the title of a piece are pretty slim. But it does not preclude, again, it doesn't, we're not anti named works that have been already produced. It's just when you're trying to be the most original, it's easier to do that if it's coming straight from your dome instead of somebody else's. But there's a great deal of adaptations that come through, and named works can certainly crop up here every once in a while. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a moment from any past festival that still gives you goosebumps?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
Can you narrow it down? What do you want to hear about?
Yeah.
Is there one specifically that stands out to you for certain reason?
There are many more than one.
I mean, I get that you're the parent and you don't want to rate one kid over the other, but
I mean that as well. But no, I'm just trying to figure out which story do I want to tell. Mm-hmm. Do you know which story you want to tell?
I mean, my go-to story is that first year when I was completely surprised. Had a coworker. How many details do I get to go into? This isn't like sorry. My other career is a nurse, so a lot of times I have to censor what I'm saying because HIPAA rules are very important. So I like to speak and tell my stories very vaguely. Like, I had a patient one time that had this thing that kind of did this weird other thing. So then I did this, and man, if you could have been there. And I found myself slipping into that just now when I realized I can't just say.
Yeah, there are no HIPAA laws here, so you're good to go.
I can't just be, I worked at Lyric Theater in their scene shop back in the day, back in 2019. I was working there in the scene shop and a great coworker, Jonathan. Mm-hmm. He's all momentum with no target. I love him so much. And when he approached me saying, I've got this idea for a show and it's going to be Brechtian and it's going to be off the wall and it's going to be a story about storytelling. And we're really going to look at what it is about stories that make people just so excited about hearing stories. It's like, this sounds like the most far out, off the wall thing. I don't know how you're going to pull it off, but I want to see what you can do.
Yeah.
And then, he got some help from Justice and Eli, and the three of them put together a piece that was so poignant that I could not believe that kind of story came from the beginning that it did, because what it ultimately ended up being, the show was called 3/4 Empty, and it was about two people in a dystopian future where art was outlawed because artists were, speaking truth to power, and you don't want, power doesn't want truth spoken, so you shut it down, you control the narrative. But all of that was so like glanced over at the beginning and in the background that you picked up on it. You knew what they were going for without them going to an in-depth lore of this is who the ruler is and this is how it happened. There was no Lord of the Rings prologue going on in his show.
God bless Petey's actor.
So it was just a story of somebody who had found a space in a storage warehouse somewhere. Like that was the vibe that was given off. Again, there were no details mentioned, which is what makes this show so great. So in a storage warehouse that became his personal place to escape and be able to tell stories. And he eventually works up the courage, or eventually convinces a friend of his to come to this space with him. And she's like super nervous. Like, this is full of a whole bunch of like plays. This space is full of art. Don't you know?
Highly illegal.
This is highly illegal stuff. And you're just, what if somebody finds you? And once they get past that trepidation and they actually start to play and just tell stories to each other, everything disappears. And we didn't care that for about 5 minutes they were doing this stupid sketch about a banana phone.
So good.
That one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, but I cared. And I was in that moment of two people just experiencing joy for the sake of joy. That by the end of the play, when they eventually get caught, as you knew was going to happen, because these types of plays never end well, it was the most heartbreaking thing that you've ever felt, because it was two humans that got to experience perfect joy, just telling each other stupid stories. And then they had that taken away from them.
Yeah.
And I, like, from pitch of, we just want to explore stories for the sake of stories, and to see how that actually came to fruition was amazing. And I will never forget that piece, and that it was there during that first year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How
long was the show?
It was about 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything's an hour or less.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, and this is what I really like about Fringe, is that it is a place as an audience member that you can go and have an adventure, because you never know really what you're going to get. Because, I mean, you can read the description in the program or on the website, and you can know the creators behind it and have, kind of a vague idea of, oh, this one will have music, or, oh, I think, it says it's a comedy. So, it's not without some sort of framework in which to put things, but there's no way of you read that description all you want. And what's even, like, there's no way of telling what you're going to get when you walk through that door and sit down. So, because most of these pieces are world premieres, like, and even, people ask Adam and I for our recommendations, and we're like, we haven't seen them. We don't know anything more than you do. Read the website. That's what we got. And it's just great because you never know when you're going to have this. I like to sell Fringe to people by saying it's $15 or less. And for $15, and it's an hour of your time at most. And for that amount of effort, you might get a story, like you will get a story out of it, at the very least. And at the most, you're going to see life-changing art that, like, changes your soul in ways you never even dreamed possible before you went into that hour. And all for, like, $15.
You reminded me of a story of, like, how the description can betray what actually happens. In that last year, Holly McNatt and Rodney Brazil put together Bromeo and Juliet. And the description of that piece was, have you ever wondered what the actors are thinking about while they're performing a show? They presented it like it was just going to be this crazy madcap comedy. And while it did have tons of comedy in it, I don't think anybody left that show with dry eyes. Everybody bawled during that show.
So good. It was so good.
Like, you had no idea. You read that description, you're like, oh, this is going to be a silly little thing. I'm going to have a good time. And she just stabbed everybody right in the heart. Holly.
Best way possible.
How dare you make me feel things.
She did it so, like, kindly, you know. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to suddenly, like, insert trigger warning here, that sort of thing. It wasn't that at all. It was just like, we're going to have, in the middle of this otherwise just zany comedy, we're going to have, like, a moment of real humanity. And we're all going to feel it together. And then we can go back to the zany comedy. But yeah, you just never know.
I like it. I like it. I've got friends that are involved with Fringe on last year and this year. I've got several that are bringing selections to the show, and so I'm looking forward to it. So, now, Jenny, you've also been producing with OKC Rep.
Mm-hmm.
How does that differ from Fringe?
It's a similar but different beast.
It's a different spreadsheet.
It's similar but different spreadsheets. With the Fringe, I play the role of executive director and project manager, and so in that way, it's a much more managerial, or not more, but I mean it is more managerial in the Theatre Crude land. OKC Rep, or I should say the other main difference is that what I do with Theatre Crude is present other people's work. And with OKC Rep, they sometimes produce other people's work and sometimes produce their own work. And those are two ever so slightly different beasts. So with OKC Rep, it's a little bit different because of the because we it's a union house. And so we deal with unions a lot more. There are often more agents involved with the work that I do with OKC Rep. There are normally larger budgets. You wouldn't think that makes a difference, but it's just like more paperwork. Slightly different paperwork. So yeah, and it's very similar skill sets for what I do across both those roles. But yeah, more unions. I don't know.
Same job,
also,
more unions.
I would say that at OKC Rep, my role is associate producer. And so in that way, I have projects within projects that I am in charge of. But I am not ultimately in charge of the project as a whole. I'm part of a larger team, and I often do not have to play the role of project manager in my OKC Rep world, whereas I sure do with Theatre Crude. So,
how do you work on balancing the two?
Practice. I recently went through and made a database of all the different jobs that I have done in my career, and I defined it very broadly, so every single contract as a different job. And I'm up to 137. So in that way, I have a lot of practice with dividing my time between different projects that are either paying me or not, and balancing the different responsibilities that come with different roles. So practice. That's how I do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Not that interesting, but true.
Fair. It's
You
fair.
want to get better at playing a musical instrument? Well, how often do you play it? Better play it some more, and then you'll get better at
There
it.
you go. That's that.
You want to get better at your spreadsheets? Well,
Make more spreadsheets.
make more spreadsheets and play around with it a bit more and watch some YouTube videos, I don't know, and then try it out and actually do it. So
Okay.
that's how I balance.
I think people in a lot of community theater realms don't quite understand the role of the producer,
Sure.
because that's one of the roles that we don't necessarily deal with a whole lot. And so I think that's kind of the importance of the question is
Sure.
an aspect of theater, even in through Theatre Crude, that we don't normally deal with, and so where that differs. And so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so this year's Fringe runs from October 2nd through 11th. I know this kind of varies a little bit from a question that we talked about just a minute ago, but broadly across the whole thing, what can audiences expect?
The unexpected.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
Tagline.
There it
TM,
is.
TM, TM.
There it is.
My piece of advice for people who have never attended Fringe before is, and I know this sounds like I'm just selling it, but get a Wildcat Pass, which is our 4-ticket bundle. So get a Wildcat Pass. That brings the ticket price from $15 a ticket down to $12, a whopping $12 a ticket. And you can share it, the pass, with people. So find a buddy, and then between the two of you, find a single show out of the 23 that we have on offer this year. A single show that you're like, yeah, I want to see that. I'm interested in that one. Find a time, put it in the calendar, go make your reservation, which you can do using your Wildcat Pass. And then not only see that, but make a reservation for whatever comes after it, no matter what it is. So then in the single evening, you'll go to said venue. You will enjoy the piece of art that you thought you might enjoy, and grow and learn and exist as a human. And oh yes, yay. And then go chill in the lobby for about a half hour, have a drink, chat, hang out, and then go back into the exact same space and see something entirely new that you don't know what's about to happen. Honestly, it's like you don't even read the description. Just be like, yeah, that. I'll go see that. So that's my advice for
somebody's going to title that as their show next year. Going to go see that. So how do you go about curating the shows? Like the pitch, you talked about the jury process, but the pitch process. How do people go about pitching their works and things like that? How does all that play out?
Yeah, everybody does it differently, and we have left our application open-ended on purpose, so that you have complete freedom, which is the best part of the application process.
And the worst part.
And the worst part, yes, because sometimes that complete freedom can be a little overwhelming, and you just want an answer, and you want to say, what do you want me to say? Just tell me what you want me to say. We say, just tell me what's on your mind. What are you passionate about? Sell me on the idea that you've got. However you can sell your idea, sell your idea.
And to be clear, when a show applies, they don't have to have a script. They don't have to have a cast. They don't have to have any idea about how really they're going to make it happen. They do have to have an idea and be able to communicate it to us, and be able to show that they will be able to turn their idea into reality. So that can be like, oh, I've done this before and that's why. But it can just as easily be, I'm so passionate about this idea. There's, clearly my passion will carry me through, and that counts too. So yeah, our application is asks for some contact information, and then it just has this big open box that says proposal, and we outline in the primer that we send out beforehand that, what we're looking for, what this Fringe thing is.
We set expectations. We're like,
Yeah.
we're not going to fully produce. Like, you're
Right.
guaranteed 12-foot by 14-foot space.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to perform with, you need to be able to take it away in your car and bring it back in your car every single day.
Yeah. You get 10 minutes to load in, you get 10 minutes to load out.
Yeah.
And then, whatever artists want to do with that blank space that says proposal, they can do it. And or just like upload us a video or PDF or something, like whatever. We don't care. As long as you're communicating your idea well. Doesn't even have to fit in the proposal box.
Yeah. We just hand all of those to a group of local arts enthusiasts, and they sift through and say, this is the one that excited me. This is the one that excited me. And then through groupthink, by taking what everybody was excited about, we find a lineup.
Yeah.
So that's your jury process. You
Yeah.
just have a group of people that they just kind of, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A little bit. We do attempt to balance less experience versus more experience, in-state and out-of-state. And again, the balances don't have to be 50-50. But in-state, out-of-state, there's something else that I'm forgetting. But the main criteria is the broadest definition of theater or performing art, and the widest variety that we can achieve. So that.
Yeah. I feel like we slipped into business mode again.
Ever so slightly.
Business.
Business.
That's okay. It happens every now and then. Okay, so you're now 5 years in, more or less. 6. This will be
our 7th festival.
This is number 7. Okay.
7, baby.
Okay. So 7 years in.
Uh-huh.
What's next for Theatre Crude?
Oh, well.
I'll let you know in December.
Yeah. You tell us. Every single year, Adam and I approach this like this is going to be the last one. Which I feel like most people participating don't think that, but Adam and I approach it that way. That's like, and that's it. And then every single year, people actually show up and artists have a good time. And it comes around after the festival. We have a board meeting in November that, wraps things up. And then December is when both the board and ourselves sit down and think about what the next year might hold. So honestly, the answer to your question is you tell us, Oklahoma, because if nobody shows up this year, then, well, that was fun. Bye. But if it's a smashing success, then who knows? Maybe next year we'll have 7 venues and we'll do unconventional shorts twice a month instead of 2 months, That didn't really answer your question, but I hope it kind of answered your question.
And, sometimes people have things they keep under wraps that they don't want to reveal, and that's fine. But no,
that's not what's happening here.
So no, we're just looking at, how things are growing. I mean, you guys just look again this year for the first time ever, you've gone to 3. You think there's a possibility of more venues, more growth?
Sure.
Just as likely, we shrink back down to 1. We realize that 3 is too many for us to handle. We can't juggle that much, and we're just gonna have to narrow our focus back down.
Which one is also great.
Yeah.
So
as long as people have an outlet for their creativity, that's our goal.
But yeah, I mean the Fringe world is kind of an endless. So there's always the possibility for more venues or a kids fringe or a specifically visual art to be incorporated or specifically film to be incorporated. A lot of Fringe festivals have street performance components that we as of yet have not explored. We could go as far as attempting to, pull all the universities in on things. It's a never ending. We can do anything we want.
The script is yours.
Yeah, well, script is Oklahoma's.
I do know I do know,
Oh, you've got secrets.
I do know that you will have a first this year.
Oh, really?
First.
You will have a podcast on hand that
Yes.
will be interviewing people. So, yeah, I will be there October 4th. I'll be setting up, hopefully, before everything gets started. I'll be doing interviews with some of the writers and directors, some of the performers, as well as some of the audience members that come in. What brings you to Theatre Crude? What did you get out of it? All I kind of catch them coming in, then catch them coming back out. And what did you think? And so I think that will also kind of help what you're doing, because that will kind of give the impression that people have of Theatre Crude. So we'll see how it goes. Could be a total bomb on my part, and I will apologize afterwards. But
No.
It's super exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. It's like having our own live stream going on in the background.
the only downside to it, there's so many shows that I won't get to see. Because literally, as part of my schedule, that's the only day I have available to be there. And there's stuff going on at the other venues that I gotta miss. There's shows that aren't scheduled for that day that I'm gonna miss. And so yeah, it's. But I'm looking forward to it. I do like, I know a lot of people that are scheduled to be there that day, and so I'm really looking forward to it. So, what you talked about just a second ago, you approach every season as though this is your last one. So what legacy do you hope that Theatre Crude leaves behind in Oklahoma?
I think why Theatre Crude exists in the first place was to allow the art that was already that's been here the whole time, a platform to exist. And so in the legacy that I hope that Theatre Crude would leave behind is the joy that comes from connecting with other humans in ways that otherwise would not have been possible, but maybe not at the scale that we've been able to achieve. We've worked with, at this point, thousands of artists, and there's been over 100 different pieces that otherwise probably never would have been seen anywhere or existed anywhere. And that to me is kind of the legacy. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, it's all about theater is supposed to be fun. If you're stressing over it, if you got an idea of a show that you want to do and you start stressing over it, I'm looking for the right words now. You get the vibe. You get the vibe that I'm going for here. Like,
there's always a certain amount of stress
Yeah.
in putting out a production, because again, we talked about it just a minute ago. It is like part of your children. I mean, you're giving birth to something, and so there is a bit of stress there that, is it going to come across the way it was supposed to come across and all of that. But exactly as you're saying, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, maybe you're doing the wrong thing.
Well, and I think
Or doing it the wrong way.
the idea of maybe the way to say it is that the creation of art does not have to be stressful. Like the stereotypical artist angst does not have to be part of it. And I think very importantly tied into that is it does not have to be perfect before an audience sees it. And audiences can be part of the creation process versus something that they witness at the end of the creation process. And teaching audiences that art doesn't come out fully formed, that there is a creation process, is utterly invaluable for teaching everyone good life skills. And being able to see things that are kind of rough around the edges, but you can see the passion behind it and the joy that has been brought forth from the minds of
Yes, that whole concept, the rough around the edges is the thing that gives the story humanity.
Yeah.
When something's incredibly polished, your brain starts to turn off and say that's too perfect. That can't be real.
Yeah.
It's like looking at AI images. We can recognize AI images still because there's something about them just lacking.
It's off.
It's
Just
off.
Oh yeah.
So that's what's great about seeing a story that's got those rough edges. Like, don't be scared of the rough edges. Embrace the rough edges.
That's when you know they're real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up with some what we call our curveballs. We do this every episode, and I do this a lot. So, just these are kind of just fun questions, just whatever comes off the top of your head. Okay.
Okay.
First one: if Theatre Crude were a cocktail, what would it be? What would be in it?
What would be in a Theatre Crude cocktail? Oh my gosh. I feel like Theatre Crude would be the one where the bartender just goes, what do I have?
Yeah.
And then grabs like 3, like a mixer and like 2 alcohols. And then without knowing what they are, mixes them together, hands them to you. And you go, you know what? Do you remember what that was? I think I'd like that again. And the bartender goes, oh God, no, I don't. And that's what Theatre Crude would be.
Theatre Crude would be. Probably had chartreuse in the hum. Just kidding.
Who knew chartreuse? Chartreuse and a whiskey? What?
What?
That
That's
shouldn't be
good.
good.
What is happening? It's kind of brown and purple.
Obviously, this is an inside joke, so I'm going to
No.
sweet it there.
I mean, it's not. We're just chatting.
Just making it up
Off
as
the
you go.
dome.
There you go. All right.
Curveball. Dodged.
So you've been
Hit me with your best shot.
You've been
Tim.
famous through this whole thing about using the word weird.
Weird.
So what's the weirdest thing in tech rehearsal that has ever happened that you've survived?
In Theatre Crude or in life?
What's like period? Any of it.
Period.
Well, I know a good story for
Okay.
you.
For me?
Yeah. Don't know.
Okay,
for me, but I
team me up, Jenny.
do
What
you know
got?
what for me? Good luck. No, I was gonna say you could tell a story about the Sudan, Boys of Sudan.
Oh, Boys of Sudan.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the show where the going into tech rehearsal, it did the final
This is at Children's Theater in Minneapolis,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a large equity house.
Yeah, so it's a brand new show called The Lost Boys of the Sudan, about Sudanese refugees being transplanted to Minnesota. So it's culture shift, but refugees, the Lutherans come and pick them up and they're like, hey, you can stay here because that's what we do. Lutherans take refugees and they take them to Minnesota.
You make it sound like you're like,
Aren't you?
Steal.
Haven't you ever been to Minnesota? It's just a bunch of Lutherans
That's it.
and they're refugees. I hope that's not insensitive.
I mean, it comes across a little bit like it, but I'm really glad you said something because I don't think that was your intention.
That's not the goal.
Boys of Sudan.
Boys of Sudan, new show. It had gotten all the way through the rehearsal process and it was just about to go into tech rehearsals when it was performed all the way through for the entire crew design team to see this last run so that we're all prepared for this is what it's going to be when we go into tech rehearsals so the designers can have a good idea of what kind of lighting cues they want to do, where they're going to put their sound cues. Crew can understand this is where I need to be for this moment and just start working that around before tech happens. Got to the end of that run and the director just went, no, this show doesn't work. This show does not work. Take it back to formula.
Scrap everything.
Get the playwright in here. Playwright comes in and is doing rewrites all throughout tech. We're doing it one scene at a time with this playwright going, oh, you want this scene to be different somehow? Okay, here's new pages. Actors are learning new lines during tech while lighting is being programmed over top of it. And it was built piecemeal, like some sort of Lego set, where the director is just like, yes, we're going to do this, and pulling out the green blocks and putting them on the orange blocks. That's the thing that we want. No idea is wrong. Everything's perfect. We're going to do a scene that's in an arcade for some reason. We're going to have somebody go to an arcade for the first time and just be completely overwhelmed by the lights and sound. And we're going to do this. And designers are like, I had no idea I was going to have to be doing strobe effects. I didn't know we were going to be like, they're just pulling things out of anywhere. And it ended up being one of these shows where you can see that brilliance can come out of just being forced to be brilliant, I guess. I don't know. I'm suddenly thinking of Ender's Game, but that's a book that I read a lot of times. You know, it's just like he relied on his team to be brilliant, and like that works for a while. Eventually you burn out. But this was that one moment where the team got to show how brilliant each of them were by building the show as it went throughout tech. And the show that opened was not the show that it was just 6 days before.
Wow.
Yeah. That's great.
And I think that's truly a credit, and says something to having a good team around you just for that purpose.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. What is one show you'd never produce, but you secretly want to? I just fried her brain.
You did. Yeah. I mean, I know what show I want to produce, but I probably will someday. So it doesn't quite fit the question.
Oh.
I don't think there is. I don't think I have any on my list that I'm like, no, never.
Okay, so let's stretch that in a different direction.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to produce any show, unlimited budget, what would it be?
Wow. I don't know. I've been really jonesing for Singing in the Rain, which just sounds like the most, not the best answer, but that's what's coming to the mind is, it's just so good.
Yeah.
As I say, the heart wants what the heart wants. So, I mean,
I was going to say, I also really do love Thoroughly Modern Millie, but the whole, like, the way Chinese people are represented throughout and, like, integral to the piece, it's like, oh, I don't want to. No, please. So maybe that, if somebody could,
adapt it.
Yeah, adapt it, I think is the right word. To give the same, like,
To objectify a different
fun.
things.
No. But the same level of just like fun and joy and but also drama and yay, without it having to be built around racism. That would be great. Let's do that.
Sure.
You can attempt to do the Peter Pan rewrite where they're like, oh,
Thank you.
the
I
pride.
don't want a Peter Pan again. I've already Peter Pan multiple times. I'm done. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Did you have one in mind, Adam?
I mean, the boring answer that I have is Underneath the Lintel.
Oh, yeah.
But that just tips the hand of how much I enjoy stories that are about broader humanity by telling a very specific story.
Mm-hmm.
That's my jam. Like, if you can tell me a really specific story that, when taken as a whole, makes you just open your mind to what it means to be human, I go nuts for that. But the fun answer is Smoke and Mirrors. I would get Taylor.
Yeah.
Yes. To write the second half,
Yeah.
fully produce that thing. Yeah, that would be super.
Smoke and Mirrors, for those who don't know, was in our festival last year. It is a show written by Emily Atherton
Sci-fi rock opera.
and
So cool.
Taylor Atherton. Taylor Atherton. And yeah, big ideas. Sci-fi rock opera.
And you said it was written by who?
Emily Atherton and Taylor Atherton.
Shout out. Pay attention. We want you to write that.
Yeah,
Finish it.
get us the second act.
It was presented as part of the festival this last year, and it was holy bananas. They took the whole bowl of spaghetti and threw it on the wall, and they were just trying all the things. and audiences were there for it. It was fun.
I mean, you want to talk about embracing the rough edges. That show had so many ideas, and it loved all of those ideas.
It was set in the future. It was set in space. There was magic.
There was a circus. Yeah, the main character's journey was launched because his dad was an awesome magician who knew the secrets of time travel.
Yeah, that's right.
And disappeared into time. So then he had to go looking for his dad through time.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that playing into a series, like a television series.
Absolutely.
I would think that would be really cool. So, all right, last question. If you could fringify, if that's a word, if you could fringify any classic play, what would you do to it? Which one, or how would you do it?
Man, would that be an interesting Fringe show if you took Thoroughly Modern Millie and removed all the racism from it? What would you end up with? Like, how much of that show would be left? Would it just be a bunch of people like raspberries? You'd just get the parts where it's rich people hanging out doing rich people things and nothing else?
Nothing else. Yeah, close.
What would that show become?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's an idea. Find a nice classic show that has a whole lot of problematic parts. Just remove all of them and see what you're left with. It's probably about 30 minutes worth of material.
Yeah, it's probably about 30 minutes. Because, like, Thoroughly Modern Italy has a whole truckload of racism.
The entire...
sexism on top of the racism. Yeah. So, like, what you gonna do? Julie Andrews. But I don't know what. I do really love physical theater, and I feel like here in Oklahoma we have good theater represented and good dance represented, and occasionally like bordering on like dance theater in there. But to me, physical theater is taking the movements of everyday life and then augmenting them until they become a sort of physicality, language in and of themselves, which is hard to convey over a audio podcast, but that's what that is. And I feel like I don't see a lot of it here, and I would love to see more. So to me, that's what I would do is choose a relatively simple story and then run it through a physical theater lens. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
I like that. That could be a good show.
I'd work on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks. I appreciate it. If people want to get in touch with you, want to work with you or whatever, how do they find Theatre Crude?
Yeah, so we're theatrecrude.org is our website. Theater is spelled the fancy way, R-E, and crude like the oil, so C-R-U-D-E, so theatrecrude.org. We're also open to emails, theatrecrude@gmail.com. Those are the best ways to get in touch with us. We do have social media presences on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook right now.
And Facebook right now. But honestly, join our mailing list. Go to the website. There'll be a place to sign up, and you'll get all the same information as if you were following us on social media without having to interact with social media, which is my preference. So I keep saying that, and that is not my catchphrase, but it is how I decided to end most of my sentences.
Yep. Okay, so Fringe Festival, October 2nd through the 11th. Schedule and tickets. How do people find that?
Website's the best place to go. The theatrecrude.org on the main page, you'll find all of the lineup. You can click and explore from there. The schedule is also linked on the main page, but it's theatrecrude.org/schedule. Venue information you can find there. A link to the ticketing portal. We offer individual tickets, so if you just want to go see one show one time, $15 plus tax. because thanks, Oklahoma. We also offer that Wildcat Pass that I was talking about, and our final offering is an unlimited pass, which is a great steal of a deal. It's $150 plus tax, and you can go see everything at the festival multiple times if you want. You can't share it between friends, obviously, but you and a friend each want to get one, you could go see all 23 shows as many times as your heart desired throughout the 10 days.
Yeah, I like to add the caveat. It's not as many times as your heart desires. It's as many times as you physically can. Given that we have 3 venues this year, it is impossible to see everything as many times as they are performed unless you learn how to break space-time.
True.
Yeah, some people may like to watch them more than you have them offered. So
Yeah, right.
yes, there's that. So, Jenny, Adam, thank you both for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Again, Oklahoma On Stage will be at Fringe Festival October 4th from beginning to end on that shift. So come out and see us, come out and see Fringe Festival, come out and see the shows, and best of luck to all of the writers, directors, actors, break legs. And again, thanks for being here. For everybody else that's listening at home or in your car or wherever it is, thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us just a little bit of your time. And no matter what you do, continue to support the arts.
Oklahoma On Stage.